Cryptocurrency, DeFi, NFTs. If that sounds confusing, the BitLab Academy is here to help. We make it simple. Start investing in crypto. Learn trading fundamentals and how to make money with NFTs. Join our community today. Crypto for beginners, taught by the pros.
Welcome to Rice TVX. You've just tuned in for the newest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. And today's video is going to be in two parts. Part one is a YouTube spotlight with Crypto RC. I am joined by Rameel Connor, who's also known as MoonDaddy, to learn more about him and his YouTube channel. Part number two, we are joined by MoonDaddy and members of his team so that we can learn about the MoonWalkers ecosystem. We're going to be talking about MoonWalkers token, DarthMoon, EarthWalkers, and more. Before we get into it, visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. You will also find my various social media links and more. You can also find Rice TVX on Odyssey and Library, where I have a full catalog of my videos, post up extra content, and share other appearances. And you can also find Rice TVX on BitChute. I will include links in the video description for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything shared on today's video. All right, joining me on today's show is a fellow content creator. This is Rameel Connor, also known as RC or MoonDaddy. This particular video is actually going to be done in two parts, so make sure you're sticking around for part number two, as I mentioned at the intro of this video, for the conversation that's going to be talking about MoonWalkers ecosystem, which also includes DarthMoon and EarthWalkers and more, and that will include additional team members in addition to Mr. RC. But RC, thanks for coming on the show today. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, doing excellent, brother Rice. Once again, beautiful to see you, man. Always love the opportunity.
Well, I'm looking forward to this part. And it's funny because we recorded part two before we recorded part one, what's right. Was going to be part one. But and the reason for that was just because when you were giving me, we met in Austin. We both were on a panel at DCentral, and I will include that down below. I think it's morality of a Web3 content creator. They wanted to use the word influencer, but the morality of a Web3 content creator, and we were on that together. We hung out at a couple events. You were very hospitable, which I obviously appreciate, and I wanted to invite you on so we could do a YouTube spotlight and highlight your channel so that people who are into cryptocurrency can check out what you're doing. And also I want to use this as a precursor for future conversations that'll have nothing to do with cryptocurrency and more on some of the ends of things that me and you have talked about privately, which kind of go in the realm of some of the stranger than fiction stuff. But
can't wait. Love talking about
it. So if you don't mind, for everybody, I know that in part two, which we recorded first, you did introduce yourself, but do you mind kind of giving a little introduction as to who you are and how and when you got involved in cryptocurrency?
Sure. I got involved in cryptocurrency by default. I worked for a company called Oracle. It's a tech software company. I still sell software technology. Excuse me. Let me repeat that. I sell software and technology, specifically identity verification products. So I was working at Oracle, and this was years ago, I think 2017, something like that. And guys were talking about Bitcoin, and they were trading it for pizza and things like that. And I didn't know. I was older, right? So the culture in most tech companies is they recruit kids from Ivy League schools, and they kind of shape them and get them to drink the Kool-Aid, right? So I was a veteran guy. I'm 45 now, and at the time, I was an adult, right, around a lot of kids, but I like to be around kids and the youth because they keep you youthful, right? So that's how I learned about specifically, or that's what kind of sparked my interest in crypto. And then, did further research, and I bought some in 2017 and just put it in the cold wallet and just let it sit. And it's still there to this day, by the way. But that's how I got into crypto and just fell in love with the freedom, right? DeFi is really freedom, financial freedom, in my opinion. And it just intrigued me and continues to intrigue me on a daily basis. And I continue to build and create. So I started my channel. It's a funny story. My sister has been a content creator on the beauty lifestyle side for about 7 years. And she's doing really well. Her name is Isameme Deco. That's her channel. And she has multiple millions across different platforms, and very proud of her. But she came down here to Austin. I'm in Austin, Texas, about 2.5 years ago for Thanksgiving. And she asked me to be on an episode of I think it's Tea Time. So it was a tea time segment of her show with her fiance, Josh. And it was a lot of fun, and it was a hit. I think it received like 60,000 views, something like that. So it was a successful segment. But that's what started me to content creating. So about 2 years ago, I started my channel, and originally it was Rameel TV. It's at Rameel TV. And I'm sorry, Crypto RC95, right? But originally it was Rameel TV. And I started the channel as satire. So it started as a satire channel before crypto. And I made about 70 videos. I just had fun. I just did what I thought was funny. I just did what I thought was funny, and I had a good time doing it.
Are they still on there? Did you take them off? It was like
I took them off because I wanted to really concentrate on the crypto content creation.
Okay.
And that's why I took them off. But I'll send you a couple of them. A couple of them are really, really funny, man. At least to me. And that's all that matters, right? With any content that I create, I'm the quality control person, right? If it's entertaining to me, I'm cool with it.
Right.
But that's how I started, and I haven't stopped since.
Well, I love it, dude. And I'll definitely have links down below for not only your YouTube channel, but also your personal Twitter account and everything else that we talk about on part 2 of this episode will be also linked down below. So you guys can check out moonwalkerstoken.com and more, which will all be in the second part. So make sure you guys are staying tuned to after this part of this video. So you can learn more about the MoonWalkers ecosystem and everything going on with that. Now, what I was listening to is you said you started out doing parody stuff. And
like reactions.
And it was Rameel TV, which was your which is your Twitter handle. So and then you have Crypto RC. Now, what's weird about that in my instance is when I first started my brand, it was Rice Crypto. And then I rebranded to Rice TVX so that I could get out of the crypto hole, so people didn't think that I was limited to just crypto. It's kind of interesting how you had TV to your name and then you got rid of that and added crypto. So it's kind of like we did the reverse.
Yeah, it's just reverse. I'm pigeonholed into crypto now.
But it's cool. I mean, crypto is your thing, and I know you're into more stuff, but with you having projects that you're involved with, and then wanting to provide additional education, I mean, it makes sense. So that's cool that your sister inspired you, because I was going to ask you what was the inspiration behind wanting to create your own channel, but you kind of already answered that for us.
Yeah, I got ahead of it a little bit, but that was the motivation. She's been doing well with it, and she lives a great life, and she is really providing for herself. She's never worked a traditional job. I'm very proud of her. She started in college. Her last year of college, she started, and she hasn't stopped 7 years later.
Yeah, I'm sure if I was in a different niche that I could do something that would be a lot more lucrative. Mm-hmm. And I've considered doing like reaction type channels, reacting to different things on social media and music and things like that. But it's so time consuming just doing what I'm doing that it's like, it's more of just thoughts. I don't have the time to really do it, which I told you I've been considering splitting Rice TV X up into 2 channels, which I'm going to explore more in future videos, let people know about that. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you was what kind of, if people are going over to your YouTube, actually, before I get into that, you mentioned in the second part a little bit more about who you are personally. So you used to play football in college and then professional. You want to kind of briefly tell a little people about that. And then I'm curious of how you went from sports, professional sports, to getting involved in, I don't know if you would call like what you do in the KYC part of the financial world or not, but it seems like a different leap. So I'm just curious about that. So you mind explaining a little bit of background on your professional background of football?
Sure. So I grew up in Chicago, and it's a Michael Jordan era at the time, right? So I was a basketball fanatic. I was terrible until about 8th grade, and I was always the tall kid in class. So just transitioned from just overall being addicted to basketball, living in Chicago during the Jordan era, kind of transferring that to football, right? I just kind of outgrew. I knew I stopped at about 6'4", 6'5", height-wise, so I just kind of transitioned to what I thought I would have the most success with, which was football. So I was a highly recruited guy. I was like the top 4 defensive players coming out of high school. I could have gone to pretty much any school. I had offer letters or letters of intent for University of Florida, University of Michigan, and University of Illinois. And I chose the University of Illinois because a lot of my teammates from high school went there, and a lot of non-football players went there. So I went to the University of Illinois. At the time, they had Simeon Rice, Kevin Hardy. These guys went number 2 and 3 in the draft. So it was just a great opportunity to be around greatness and potentially become, whatever you identify as great. That's always my goal with anything I try to do, right? Anything I do, I want to do it great. So it was a great experience at the University of Illinois. I was fortunate enough to be the defensive rookie of the year for the team, and made honorable mention all Big Ten. And I had an injury, a major reconstructive knee injury in 1997. I'm dating myself. I already said I'm 45, so you can do a little math there. But it really stalled my potential draft status. So I was able to, I was fortunate enough to be a restricted free agent, or a priority free agent. And I chose Miami, the Dolphins. I was always a fan of the Dolphins. It's something that just was ingrained in my head. And it was a great choice, great decision. I didn't get a lot of playing time. I try not to romanticize. I'm very straightforward. If you're not a starter, you're not playing. It's just how it is, right? So I had limited playing time or whatever. So I was allocated at the end of the season. I was cut, first of all, right? You get cut multiple times. Everyone does, maybe minus Tom Brady. He almost got cut. But anyway, signed on with the Dolphins, and then after the first season, they allocated me to NFL Europe, so I had the opportunity to go to Barcelona, Spain, and that's where I got the playing time at the professional level. And I was a starter. We went to the World Bowl, which was a NFL European League Super Bowl, and we lost by like 2 touchdowns at the last couple of minutes. But it was just a wonderful experience to travel the world, first of all. I take that as one of my best experiences to expand, right? You know me, I'm a kind of a deep thinker, to expand my perspectives on everything. I was only 22 years old, right? So it just opened the world. I had never been out of the country before. So great experience there. Came back to Miami, got cut again. And just so you guys know, at the time, Jason Taylor, who's in the Hall of Fame, Trace Armstrong, who's in the Hall of Fame, they both were in front of me. It just wasn't going to happen, right? So I was fortunate enough, again, blessed to go to the historic team, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And great experience. The first time I put that helmet on, it just created a lot of emotion. So I was fortunate enough to play about 4 years. I had another knee injury at the most inopportune time. I've always been taught to have backup plans to execute on those, if something doesn't work out. So it wasn't devastating, but at the same time, it wasn't by my choice, right? My body just completely failed me, and my knee just wouldn't recover. It's called a bursa sac. So anytime I have trauma to my right knee, it fills up with blood. I'm immobile. I can't do anything. So that's kind of what ended. Yeah, that's what ended my career. But it was by choice. So the first thing I did, like literally the next month after my last season in Pittsburgh, I left there with the injury settlement. So I had a nice little nest egg of money. I just went to grad school and worked for the university. And so that's a long story, but that's my NFL story. I know it's kind of intriguing to people. I don't talk about it a lot because I don't lead with professional sports. But like you said before, Chris, it is important to kind of touch on it. I think it shows the level of achievement that's possible from a person, and it is important to talk about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, even if you weren't a starter, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I don't follow sports like some do, but I know that it's really popular. With that being said, even if you're a part of the team, I mean, you got to experience that world, which is really cool. So even if you weren't a starter, I mean, if you're playing on a team where you have people who play the same position as you that are far better, in their skills, then obviously they're going to be the ones playing, unless they get injured and then you get in a situation where you get into a game. But I just wanted to highlight it because I thought it was cool. And I know it's not one of those things that you like to lead off the conversation with, but I think it's kind of cool that you played with the Dolphins and Steelers. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Oh, no, very cool, man. And yeah, the thing about the NFL or professional sports in general, if you look at Tom Brady's path, right? If Drew Bledsoe didn't get injured, you would never know who Tom Brady was. So a lot of it is just opportunity. I've seen multiple guys. A lot of guys have talent. If you can get there, you need an opportunity because someone has the job already, right? Every year. And they're making, on average 10 to 20 million. So you have to displace someone. And sometimes that comes with an injury or it comes with some act of God. But you're not going to displace a Jason Taylor and, Trace Armstrong. It's just not going to happen. So.
Right. No, it makes sense. Yeah. So now I wanted to go ahead and turn things over to your channel real quick. I just got like 2 more questions and then we'll wrap up this part for people to continue with part 2. But what can people expect to find as far as crypto content if they go over and check out Crypto RC YouTube channel?
Sure. I like to bring projects because it depends on the phase, right? Like currently we're in a very bearish market. The economy is struggling. So people need quick wins. That's what I call them, quick wins. So I try to bring content just like the video I'm going to drop today. It's a token that launches Thursday. Stealth, right? I can't say
this will be coming out Thursday.
No, I'm going to release it tonight.
I know. I'm letting you know, like this video though, I'm editing it tomorrow and releasing it on Thursday, just so you know. So if everybody's watching this, just to put a time frame with what you're saying. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah, it's so I'm working on early wins, and also I'm making a video on what to look for, right? Because there are so many rogue pulls and so many projects that are just unethical. There are ways to kind of predict, right? Some precursors, I would say. The doxing of the devs, right? Do you know who they are? Can you see them? We talked about it before, but
we go into that in part 2.
Yeah. There are some precursors, and I want to make people aware of it. So I have an education background. That's kind of what I studied in grad school, higher ed administration. So I just have a passion for hopefully educating people on information that I've become proficient at. So that's what my channel really is. I try to bring early finds so people can make quick X's. They can exit or they can stay. I always recommend leaving a little bit in the token, but exit quickly because that's just the culture we're in right now. But it also depends on the token as well.
Wendio likes to use the term moon bag. Yeah. So like if you let's say you own X coin and it goes up X amount and you sell X amount of X coin, anything that you keep at that point is all just profit.
House money.
So
money,
that's where that's why she calls them moon bags, which I like. So shout out to Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy, we laughed about that and we mentioned it on the stage at the panel a couple months ago.
Yeah, again, that'll be linked down below. I definitely encourage people if they didn't see that chat.
That was a fun panel.
Me, you, Crypto Blood, Mind Your Biz, Wendy, and Crypto Wendio, and Tom Crown, and then J Chains.
Yep,
J Chains from Meta Money.
Yep. It was a fun group, man. Really fun group.
Hosted by Mr. Adam Charles.
Adam Charles, baby, the wild man.
Yeah, crazy wild man. I don't know if you've seen the pictures he's got on social media with his new mustache, but it's pretty funny.
Oh, I'll be going to look now in a little bit.
You should definitely go look at it. And, I know it's all over his Facebook account for sure, but it's very interesting.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing him in Vegas for NFT. I'll be out there on the 25th of this month.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, you had mentioned that to me. I don't think I'm gonna be going out. I've got a few travel plans, but I don't think I want to be going to Vegas towards the end of October for Litecoin Summit and Coin Agenda, I believe.
Yeah, it's hot. It's gonna be hot as hell when I go. So.
Oh, I know, dude. I mean, Austin, but I mean, Austin was crazy hot too when I went out there. I mean, 100-degree nights.
Yeah,
101, 102 degrees at 11 o'clock at night.
It was unbearable even for me, and I've been here 11 years now.
It's not good climate for this rice.
Yeah, not for that rice, right?
So okay, man. Well, I do appreciate your time for explaining what you're doing with your channel. I do encourage people to take the time and go over and subscribe to your channel as well, and check out and follow you over on Twitter. I would encourage people to make sure that they are continuing to watch the video, because it's not over. There will be a second part. Before we wrap up part 1, Mr. MoonDaddy, do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to add to this conversation?
I always like to close with encouraging words. A lot of people are struggling. COVID has really taken a toll on us socially. And I just encourage everyone to look from within and not without, right? We have the abilities and powers to create the life that we deserve, right? A pleasant life, a peaceful life. So, please look within. You have the ability to live the life you want. So nothing crypto. It's just crypto is an investment vehicle, but overall in life, we really need to take control of our mental, of the way we approach life and the way we approach adversity. So I'm really big on positive thinking and reinforcement.
And I try to do that on my channel too, man. I mean, the overall underlying kind of message is my practice change message of, be the change that you want to see in this world by being that example. Walk the walk so that other people can see what you're doing, and maybe you'll inspire others to walk their walk that might be parallel and similar to yours. And the more that of us that do that, the more that we can get to this world where we actually treat people how we want to be treated, which would be an absolutely beautiful thing.
Simple formula, Chris, right? You just said this, the keys, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated, be the change you want to see. That's all.
The reason I mentioned it and put the highlight,
if your spouse is an asshole, right? If your spouse is an asshole, be nice to them. They won't have a choice besides to change. If not, nature will take its place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I mention it too, just because it's really important that we take time to recognize what we can do versus what we can't do. And a lot of people are more in the mindset of complaining about the things they don't like in the world versus actually trying to do something about the things in the world they don't like. And that's what I try to encourage people. So all right. Well, my friend, I really appreciate your time. For everybody watching, make sure you're staying tuned. This is not over. Part 2 is going to begin right now. All right. Joining me on today's episode of the Rice Crypto Show is Rameel Connor, RC, aka MoonDaddy. What is going on, my friend?
Brother Rice, how are you, sir? It's a pleasure to see you again, man.
I'm doing well. It's good seeing you. We had the opportunity to meet while I was in Austin, Texas at DCentral Conference, and we actually got to speak on a panel together. I think it was the morality of being a crypto content creator or influencer, which I'll include a link down in the video description so people can check that out. So it was great meeting you, man. You were very hospitable while I was in Austin, which I greatly appreciate. You hooked me up with the shirt, so I had to pimp it while we were on a video talking about MoonWalkers.
Oh, a little something about that. Yeah, a little something.
So you've got meeting you, man. You've got a little bit of an interesting history, a little past that people may not know about. So for people who are unfamiliar with you, MoonDaddy, do you mind kind of introducing yourself and also talk about how and when you got involved in crypto?
Sure. So originally I got into crypto around 2018, just simply trading. I worked for a company called Oracle, small company, software technology company. And guys were trading Bitcoin. I was like, what is Bitcoin? They were trading it for pizza. So I got into it. I was just in the right place at the right time. And I wasn't all the way in. I didn't get all the way into crypto until about 2020. and just really liked where crypto's going. I think that developing nations, they need the unbanked, the need for crypto for exchanges for goods or services in developing nations was something that was intriguing to me. So I wanted to really dig deeper, and I met my team based on we were in other tokens, and we just became friends, and we got into a MoonWalker project. Myself as a crypto guy from the marketing side, I helped with the project, and the founder rug pulled the project and left us with no marketing wallet, with no LP. So myself and Christopher kind of restructured, and we put our own DNA into the token, and we created our DNA of MoonWalker token. So that's how MoonWalkers came to fruition. It was through necessity, really, and it was really interesting. We launched our version of MoonWalker, our DNA of MoonWalker, the same day that Russia invaded the Ukraine. So it was 2/24. So we've been around since 2/24 with MoonWalkers, and we've evolved and we've innovated tremendously. And we have a lot of different projects in our ecosystem. We launched DarthMoon July 21st, and we reached a 74x. We launched it at about 1,300. With MoonWalkers, we launched that 2/24, and we launched it at about 37K, and we reached 640K. And we're still holding about 130, 140K now. So those are our projects and kind of what we work on, how I got into crypto. And it's an evolving story.
Okay, well, I was kind of hoping you would tell a little bit about before you got involved in crypto.
I know where you were going. I know where you're going. I was saving it, Chris. I was saving it. So
okay.
I was fortunate enough to I played collegiate football at the University of Illinois. I was pretty highly recruited in basketball and football coming from Chicago. I'm originally from Chicago, and I grew up during the Jordan era, so I was in love with basketball first in Chicago, growing up in Chicago, and also just got bigger. Right, I was always pretty tall, the tallest kid.
You are pretty tall.
Yeah, so we evolved from basketball to football. It just was more of a future state for myself, and that's how I paid for college. And I went to the University of Illinois in the Big Ten, and I had really good success. I had a major injury my third year. But I was fortunate enough to be able to sign with the Dolphins, and I played 2 years with the Dolphins. I played one summer in NFL Europe, which was a really great experience. I was in Barcelona, Spain. We played in a European NFL Europe Super Bowl. So that was a really great experience. I was able to actually get playing time. My first year with the Dolphins, Jason Taylor, who's in the Hall of Fame, and Trace Armstrong, who's in the Hall of Fame, were the starters. So it was no playing time.
Right.
So the opportunity to go to NFL Europe was really big for myself. And after that, I signed with the Steelers. So I played 2 years with Miami and 2 years with the Steelers, and great experience. We got to the AFC Championship my first year in Pittsburgh. Tom Brady, hopefully, I'm going to send this to Tom too, right? But Tom and I know Tom from the East-West Shrine game. That's an all-star game that you play when you come out of college for the pros. So he was our quarterback. So I've known Tom for many of years, as well as the NFL Combine, the infamous Combine picture of Tom with the dad body at 21. So right. I was there for that. It's pretty funny.
I was looking at some of your football pictures, man. You were huge.
Yeah, I'm down at 210 now, but back in those days, I was well over 300.
Yeah, you were just a beast, man. It was crazy. And then, meeting you and then seeing the older pictures, because I'm not really a big football fan, but I know a lot of people are. And also, one of the reasons why too, I wanted you to explain that is because, there's a lot of projects that are scammy. There's a lot of projects that don't have teams that are public. So when you've got someone involved in a project who you can kind of research and get an idea of who they are publicly, to me, it kind of gives a little bit better of a public image for any kind of project that's going on. So Nate, did you say that MoonWalkers, when it was originally created, it was someone else who created it and just got away from the project? Did they rug pull? What did they do?
Yeah, so it was a guy. I won't even say his pseudo name.
Yeah, we don't have to even grace him with anything. I'm just
Yeah.
curious of what happened.
It's not worth it. Yeah, so I came on board as the marketing guy, right? I created content for the project. I think I have the video still up. When someone rugs a project, I just like to make a disclaimer, but I don't like to hide, right? It is what it is. It happens all the time. My team and I, we're all about full disclosure. That's we pride ourselves on full disclosure. So yeah, we were part of the marketing side of the MoonWalker project previously, and we woke up one morning, the telegram was gone, and the marketing wallet and the LP was gone. So we had to really make a pivot, and we created a new telegram, and we created our own DNA. It's really an impressive story if you think about it, because we went from losing money to people having, going from 37K to 640K, and still holding over 6 figures. So it's a really miraculous story. And then we've evolved into a full ecosystem where our other projects feed the governance token now, which is MoonWalker token. So that's how we were involved. We were part of marketing, and it was rug pulled, and then we created our own version.
So you guys created a new version of the token? You didn't use the old existing token?
No, not at all. Even the logo is ours, and we just have to start fresh. And we love the name, right? I think it's a catchy, bullish name, MoonWalkers, and it just stuck. And we didn't want to change it. We didn't want to hide from what happened, and we're very transparent and open to what happened originally and how we evolved into this.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to explain that, man. It does mean a lot when it comes to stuff like this. Because one of the things I wanted to do is organically learn about the project before anything. I have so much kind of going on, just got done with the move. It was really hard for me to put time into researching. So I wanted to get with you face to face. And you also invited some of your team members. So I want to go ahead and bring in Chris and New Gems Justin into the conversation. And Chris, if you want to unmute your mic and introduce yourself, and then after you're done, we'll have New Gems Justin introduce himself.
Hi, so I'm Christopher. I met Rameel almost 3 years ago now, let's say on the crypto space. Other than that, I'm 45. I've been working for the past 25 years as top tier manager in the industry, managing large scale, let's say, teams. And I'm mostly specialized in technologies in general. So I'm electronic engineer and let's say technophile. So I love everything about computers, about internet, about blockchain. And I'm a long time investor also. And I started interesting myself into cryptos 10 years ago, and went really active into it 3 years ago.
Okay. And what do you do within the team there at MoonWalkers?
I'm the tech guy. I'm the number guy. I mean,
numbers. We joke about that all the time.
My pseudo is AS Mooner, all seeing Mooner. Because I really understand well the blockchain. I can read the BSC scan quite well, and I provide the Solidity contracts and let's say all the numbers we need. Yeah.
You do coding and development and stuff like that as well?
Yes. So I developed our Solidity contract for MoonWalker and all the others. Constantly trying to improve them, adding new features and all that. We have a project called EarthWalk that will come in September, which is, let's say, utility that will provide all the tools for any project that want to launch on the blockchain. So this includes the contracts. So it means token contract, it means Vols contract, it means stacking pool contracts, any kind of Solidity contract now I'm working on and I'm developing in-house. And I also developed some web tools like dashboards and so on.
I'm trying to place your accent. Where are you from?
France.
France. Okay. It was really weird. It didn't quite sound French though. So it was interesting. And while I was listening to you, I'm like, where is this guy from? Are you in France?
Yeah, I'm living in Paris, but I've been traveling for the past 25 years all over the world. So
now I hear it.
Let's
now
say I'm quite fluent in English.
Yeah.
Now that you said it, I totally hear it. I live in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paris. I wanted to include something. Chris is pretty modest, but he's our, I would say, our genius. He comes up with ideas, then we just simply implement. And I'll say there's never a hitch in a launch, right? I've been involved in probably thousands of launches where the calculation for the initial market cap is wrong, where the allocation for the tokens is wrong, where there's an issue with the launch, the contract isn't working properly. Christopher's contracts constantly, instantly are very proficient. They work, and our launches go off without a hitch. And also a utility with our new token, which is EarthWalk token. Christopher has already set up the pre-sale allocations and everything. All of the calculations are already set and they're perfect. And he does a great job. And he morphed into this. He didn't start as a Solidity, developer. He learned on the go, as he says, right? That's one of his favorite sayings, on the go. And it's just really impressive. And I just wanted to continue to edify our guys. It's just really amazing what they do.
It's awesome when you have the drive to learn something that you're not familiar with and then make yourself familiar with it and then progress in that knowledge. So I commend you, Mr. Chris, definitely. Did you say EarthWalker?
Yes, I said EarthWalker because this is the project that's coming.
Right. So there's
just a
there's
brief, let's say,
DarthMoon.
parenthesis. We have a global ecosystem called the solar system. So as you can bet, we'll be doing tokens from all the planets in the solar system. So we have the MoonWalker, we have the EarthWalker coming, and all the other will come. We have SunSwap by Christmas, and we'll have for each planet a token.
SunSwap, like Justin SunSwap.
We'll skip his name. We'll just leave it.
I'm just being silly there.
I'm joking too.
So there's 3 tokens out now though, and there's plans for 4 if I'm not mistaken, because I think you said 4 tokens. RC?
I would say more. It was initially 10. Now it's 12 because we have 2 extra. DarthMoon is one of the extra. But for the moment we have 10, 12 tokens. But honestly, there's no limit. We are here for the long run. And if we have to, let's say, build a galaxy of 100 tokens, we would.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I want to go ahead and give New Gems Justin a chance here to introduce himself, and then we'll dive into the project and get like a full comprehension of it. Mr. Justin, do you mind unmuting? There you go.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm Justin. I'm the youngest person in the group. I'm from Germany. I'm coming from the utility side and the hardware side more. I had crypto the half of my life in my view, but I did not understand what it is at the beginning. And as I have seen the beginning of last year, that is still alive and there is such a big impact. I wanted to have a part of the cake, and I started to research about mining, about what it is behind crypto, where the strengths are, where are the weaknesses. And I came in the original project, first of all as an investor. A couple days later, the old dev has seen that I understand how the bots work and has implemented me kind of as an admin in the old group. That has built up over the time in the new project. Since then, I'm the CEO of the project, and I'm kind of taking care of everything that is new. Where, for example, RC or Christo don't have the time to do it, to make the research for it, for example. So I've taken over the websites, the white paper, the TG security, and I think a couple of other things. So I'm the, let's say, new refreshing guy that's who tries to bring in new information, new ideas, and evolve the project to bring the old BSC back. Because let's say it so much, I'm stressed out because of all the rugs, all the scams and so on. I'm coming from the mining side. I know my company will not make profits until the 13 months in the current market situation. So I know how to calculate in time in an operation, in let's say in a business transaction, and how the projects are. The new project, they are again getting launched. After 3-4 days, the dev says, yeah, the community is not active, no marketing money, or what the fuck, and just close the project, and all the people lose their money. And in my opinion, that's not right. There need to be something changed. And I'm here to support Christopher and RC to reach this goal.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So RC, I want to ask you, like, before we get into like any of the tokens or anything, what is the overall mission and focus of MoonWalkers?
Sure. For MoonWalker being the governance token, it's really a token that you hold and you generate BNB reflections. And you also are able to generate wealth, right? We're not looking for people to have a 2x or a 10x. We want people to tell the story of, I generated wealth by being patient and allowing the project to develop over years. And then also, as an investor, we want our investors to tell the story of, I invested in, the EarthWalk project at launch. I had the advantage of getting into that project because I was in the MoonWalker project. I was able to get into the DarthMoon project early because I was a member of the MoonWalker project. So it just continues to build and generate wealth. Example, DarthMoon, when you purchase or sell DarthMoon, it buys 1% of MoonWalker token. So it really becomes a full ecosystem. And our other projects will also buy the MoonWalker token. So it's really a great way to generate wealth if you're patient, if you're a true investor. That's our DNA and what we want to attract. We're not a company or a token that's going to be, 10,000 holders within the first 6 months. We'll have 10,000 and beyond, but over time. We build meticulously. And Christopher and I are 45 years old, right? We've been involved in startups from being an entrepreneur, as well as worked for Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies our whole lives. So that's the way we approach the MoonWalker ecosystem and project.
So that's what I was going to ask. Are all the tokens part of the same ecosystem? Ultimately,
they all. So I'll let Christopher speak on that in regards to the contract interactions.
Because Chris, because before you get into that, because what I'm trying to understand is like it seems like the project is MoonWalkers, and then you have these other projects under MoonWalkers, if I'm understanding that correct. So I'm trying to get an idea of what is the overall focus of what you guys are trying to achieve aside from just wealth generation. Is there like, what's the utility going on with the tokens, things to that effect? And if Chris can incorporate that in the answer, that's fine, but I'm just curious about that.
So from a wealth generation standpoint, it's a reflection token, right? So you simply hold the token, MoonWalkers. Let's just focus on MoonWalkers for 1 second. So MoonWalkers, you hold it, you generate BNB on buy and sells. So that's the part with MoonWalkers, right? MoonWalkers is a generation, a wealth generation token. That's a reflection token in the market. It's, reflection token and BNB, and it's paired with BNB as well. So when BNB rises, the price of MoonWalker token goes up, and you also have to deal with the volatility. But we launched MoonWalkers token at a time where BNB was down, so we expected to ride the wave up of BNB as well.
Okay, cool. Chris, did you want to go ahead? And I'm sorry to interrupt you starting to answer, but go ahead, man. Thank you.
No problem. So it's not a pyramidal organization for our tokens. There's not a master token and daughter tokens, but there is a governance token, okay, in the middle, like the sun. So we choose the moon, MoonWalker, okay, which is our governance token. Its aim is to redistribute everything that is generated into it to the holders. So through the reward system, as we said, but all the tax that we are generated aside on marketing and so on is also fueling a big giveaway that we've put in place on it, which is $1.4 million giveaway based on milestone in terms of value, of market value. And these are real gifts that we are distributing. So MoonWalker, let's say full value created, redistributed to the holders. So like a company that would have no, let's say, no charges and would redistribute anything that it generates to the stakeholders, to the shareholders, okay? And then comes around it a constellation of 9 projects that will be all interconnected 3 by 3, okay? And will have each a branch, a specific branch of development. So one branch will be utility, one branch will be games, one branch will be finance, okay? So EarthWalker, for example, is the first one of a triptych of utility tokens. So EarthWalk that we will launch in September will be a utility token. Aside, we will launch, I told you, SunSwap, so a swap around Christmas, which would be in the finance tokens part, okay? And we have games in preparation. Also, we have a catch game that is currently being developed. And when we will launch it, it will be the first one of the game branch of the ecosystem. So the idea was simple, was to say, okay, we want to create an ecosystem, but the ecosystem has to be, let's say, large enough to cover most of what we can do through crypto in the digital world. And the list is non-exhaustive, because as long as we are developing, we are having new ideas. We are validating with the community also. The structure, the tax system, the project itself, what we do, what we don't, and all that, okay? And we always propose several choices that we can develop. We are not trying to sell wind or, let's say, nothing to the community. We are trying to sell what we are able to deliver. We are really attached to that, attached to delivering what we say. So we say what we do what we say, to be clear. And this is how the global ecosystem is currently, let's say, taking place. And this is why we believe it's a more than 3-year global development project, because we will need to, let's say, take our time to acquire tech, to acquire skills, to acquire also to recruit people that would bring us new skills or a different point of views, to ensure that we can, let's say, we can deliver all we want to do towards the community. The idea is that everything is all interconnected, which means that contract-wise, each master branch token will automatically implement a rewarding in MoonWalker, creating, let's say, a buying pressure on MoonWalk, okay? Reversely, MoonWalker holders are deciding what those projects would be. So if they are successful, let's say they are receiving the fruits of that success and of their choices. So it's really a circle, what I believe a positive spiral into the global ecosystem, because everything is interconnected through the contract. Everything is generating wealth externally or internally in between the different projects. And we try to keep a foot, let's say, in the real life. So the idea is really to try to develop things that has a real interest and that would generate value. So EarthWalk, for example, the utility, that's services that we will propose to other projects. And those services are really wide. And for sure, we won't provide them for free. So at some point, anything that we would generate from them, half of it will go back to the community. The other half will serve to fuel, let's say, the further developments.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, what about DarthMoon token? What exactly? I know that was recently launched. What exactly is the DarthMoon token all about?
Can I, Rameel?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, DarthMoon is initially just an idea that popped up from observation of the market. So we were supposed to launch EarthWalk in end of May. Finally, the market conditions were not good. We have a raise, which is significant on it. So we knew that we wouldn't, let's say, fill the raise. So we decided to postpone it by 1 month, end of June. End of June, same situation. The market was not at best. The Fed was starting rising up the interest rate, and all the markets, including the share market, were collapsing. And then was coming the, let's say, summer holidays. So we knew we wouldn't launch during the summer holidays EarthWalk. So we decided to postpone it for September. And in between, as we launched the last one, the MoonWalker, in February, we were thinking, okay, how can we just, let's say, keep the community interested? Because we had that fear that the community would, let's say, sell and leave, as we saw all around us in other projects. We had two ideas: either launch our NFT chain, which is linked to another project that you don't know, which is called Crypto Junkie Tea, which is our gear factory and NFT, let's say NFT generator. So either we were launching our Crypto Junkie Tea prematurely, or we were just trying something else. And yeah, we came to the idea that we would love to try moonshots. It was moonshot season in July, I would say, since mid of July. Lots of moonshots were launched, and we were taking part into them left and right, and seeing those projects getting, let's say, raised and dying in 3, 4, 5 days. And this is not our DNA. We are here to last, and we don't want to scam people or to hurt people. And that kind of moonshot, which is, let's say, rising and dying, is clearly hurting someone in the middle, because you can't generate value and then kill it and everybody gaining. So you have a few gaining and a lot losing in the middle of it. And we thought, okay, let's try to launch our moonshot to see if we are capable of it. And second of all, don't make it only a moonshot. Launch it as a moonshot and then transform it into something more useful. We decided that the theme of Star Wars, which is appealing and quite catchy, we turned on the dark side of it, on the villains.
Right,
and,
the Sith side.
Yeah, and we built it quite fast, I would say, using our, let's say, tech that we have prepared for EarthWalk. So all the TG management, security, our smart contract, web creation, dashboards, and so on. Everything is, let's say, a tech that any project could have from us, okay, into DarthMoon. And that was a way to spread the word and to show that we are still around, we are still existing, we are still active, okay. And finally, now we are currently trying to transform DarthMoon into a utility token. I won't say more for the moment unless Rameel wants, but yeah, the idea is to give it a real long-term view and long-term value to that token.
Okay, cool, very cool. So, do you want to share any information, RC?
With the DarthMoon project,
you don't have to. I'm just putting you on the spot.
No, it's a fun project for us, but we don't do just fun, right? We build things for the long run. We're in a bearish market. I think everyone can agree with that. And this is a great time to buy. We're going to be around forever. We have the resources to be around forever. We have the intellect to be around forever. So that's what I would like to kind of tell people. The price now is low, it's cheap. It's a great time to purchase DarthMoon, MoonWalker, to get into the ecosystem, to get ready for the EarthWalk project. And I wanted to talk about that for a second. The EarthWalk project, we already have 6 clients. It hasn't been launched yet. So, 50% of revenue generated from the services we provide, and the services are, doxing, contract audits, KYC. And just so you know, I work for one of the largest KYC companies globally. That's what I do as a day job. So EarthWalker token is going to be a very big token just in regards to real world utility and use case. I haven't seen a token that hadn't launched before have utility and have customers already. We have requests coming in every day for help with their projects. We've done something right? A lot of people kind of look at us, they're like, what the hell are these guys doing building an ecosystem? No one's doing that right now. It's just moonshot tokens. That's all that people are investing in. They get a 2-3x and they're out. We're trying to change the behaviors and the ideology of investors to invest and not to trade. Long term, you make money, right? Any business, it takes a while. It takes time for it to evolve. Google didn't start in a garage and then become a the masters of the universe in 2 days. It took years, right? And that's how we're building our ecosystem.
Okay, cool. No, I like it. I like it. I did see. I didn't know that there were separate websites for each token, which is why I'd mentioned to you in the private chat to make sure that you're sending me links so I can include all this in the video description so people can check this out. And I always have to add, I don't know New Jim's Justin and Chris personally, but I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know about RC, but I definitely have to say on my end that none of this is financial advice. I always encourage people to make sure that you're doing your own research, doing deeper dives so that you can make sure that if you want to make an investment, it's an investment that you believe in, and make sure that you're just not just listening to what's being told. I always want to encourage people to make sure that they're doing their deep dives. It's really important for us, especially in the crypto space with so many projects really not having any purpose. Whether it's, I'm not a big fan of the moonshot idea and people just trading to make more fiat or whatever the case might be. I understand it's part of the ecosystem. I'm a real big fan of the disruption this technology brings, but I really like the idea of what you guys are creating. I think it's really cool. What made you decide to use Binance Smart Chain versus any other smart blockchain that's out there?
I'll let Chris take that, but I just wanted to say also, I'm working on a video on what to look for, and that's a great point what you brought up. This isn't financial advice, but at the same time, there's some tips and some things you can look into before you invest in a token. So one thing I look for is the team docs. Can I see their face? Do I know who they are? Do they have LinkedIn profiles that I can go to? That's a check for us, right? Do they have past projects that were successful that didn't rug? That's a check for us. Once again, can you identify the founders? Are they invested in the token? What are their wallets? See, that's another caveat. That's a different step. We're very transparent. We build our strength on transparency. It's not always appreciated, but when we get back into a bull, cycle, it will be appreciated. And the pricing will not be what it is now on the tokens. So
right.
Great point in regards to security. But those are things you need to look for when you're looking at a token. Can you identify the founders? Do you know if they're invested in a token? Some founders aren't even invested in their own token.
GitHub is another good resource depending on the project, looking at their repositories, seeing what kind of action is taking place with development, things to that effect. I mean, and I appreciate you mentioning what you did, because it's just really important that people, if something sounds too good to be true, generally it is. And that's where I like where you're saying with this project, this is more of a long-term mindset. And prior to cryptocurrency, if anybody was involved in any sort of investments of any type of capacity, most investments minimum were like 5 to 7 year investments. Most of the time you see people doing 10 to 20 year investments. So that is a long-term deal. And when somebody is getting 2% return, they're happy with that in the traditional world. So you got to look at crypto as a little bit of a different animal. But I think that we're going to, and this is just my personal opinion, as we get into the next bull market, I feel that a lot of the projects that we're talking about are going to fall through the wayside. That we should see a lot less tokens listed on a CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, and more actual utility versus speculation or just moonshot stuff. Thanks for sharing the GitHub information and the KYC certificates. Before you answer the BSC question about Binance Smart Chain, MoonDaddy, you mentioned that you worked in KYC. Was that something that you did only in crypto, or is that something that was intermixed with different elements of the world?
Oh, no. The interesting thing is that I still do it. That's my day job. So I work for one of the largest companies that does IDV KYC globally.
So not just crypto related.
Yeah, and I kind of head up the crypto departments. So that's one of the sectors of verticals that I cover. So it makes sense, right? I would say I'm a professional and very proficient at understanding identities and being able to reveal identities and being able to see, fake identifications or synthetic identities. So that's
I mean, to me, it's like you guys have set yourself up to where you can't do anything to hurt the community because you're so transparent with all the team members, which I appreciate.
Think about it. Where can I hide, right? I have my own YouTube channel. My name is Rameel Connor. My face is here. Where can I hide? That's how I want it to be. We created everything within our ecosystems because of how we want to be treated. We want to invest in tokens that do what we do. So that's our identity. That's what we created.
Is there a different YouTube channel, or is this your channel?
It's Crypto RC95.
Oh, see, I didn't know. Okay, let me pull that one up as well. Crypto RC95.
Yeah, because that's a separate entity from our token, right? That's my platform.
Yeah, see, we didn't talk a lot before. We didn't really get into a lot of what you were doing for me to be able to have a complete understanding, because I knew that you were a content creator, and then I go and look at the MoonWalkers token YouTube channel, and I'm like, this isn't like crypto content. It's a project's YouTube channel. So
yeah, it's two hats, right? So
okay,
content, just like I made a video yesterday for World Football, a really bullish token. But you know, I don't just have to make Moonwalker token videos. I love to, but you know, I create content across the board.
Make sure I'm subscribed here.
Come on,
I'm subscribed. Now, I definitely want to do a separate interview with you and bring you on so we can highlight your YouTube channel.
Sure thing. I really
since this is more of a focus on what you guys are doing with this project, I definitely want to kind of give some attention to your YouTube channel separately, as to not impede upon what you guys are doing. But Chris, go ahead. Finally, you're like getting interrupted, put on hold, and then you get to finally answer the question. Why did you guys decide to use Binance Smart Chain? And thank you for being patient.
We use Binance Smart Chain for two reasons. The first one, because this is the biggest alternate chain after Ethereum. Okay, so let's say those cost-saving chains. Okay, so that's the biggest, that's the most developed, and that's the one providing the most utilities for everyone. So it's the easiest to access after Ethereum. Why didn't we go on Ethereum directly? First of all, there's a matter of cost of transactions, which means that we wanted to start, let's say, small and attract also people with lesser means. On Ethereum, it wouldn't have been possible. So we might have ended up with only big holders, and the project would have slowed down, we believe. Then we had the choice between, let's say, BSC, Polygon, AVAX, even Terra Luna or whatever. Personally, I believe BSC is the only one who would really survive. I'm a true believer that this market at some point will standardize. Okay, so we'll have rules. People will be doxed everywhere. I mean, it will be more open, not controlled, but more open. Okay, so less scams, less, let's say, wilderness around it. And at the end, I don't see 25 different blockchains remaining and surviving. So there might be some dedicated ones, like dedicated for NFTs like Solana or Polygon, okay, dedicated for finance like Ethereum or whatever, and a dedicated for other project or different or utilities or whatever. And I truly believe in BSC, especially since April, where Binance announced that they might support on their BEP2 network the BEP20 environment. So okay. Binance holders and Binance account members might have access to BEP20, which is BSC, Binance Smart Chain, really soon. So for me, that's a totally different story, and I truly believe that Binance is and will remain the main chain.
Okay, very cool. I appreciate you explaining why you guys decided to go with the BSC route.
Even though all our utilities and tech is capable to work on any blockchain. No?
That's good. Well, I definitely enjoyed learning more about the project. What I'm going to do before we wrap up is give each one of you time to kind of give your final thoughts or anything that you wanted to add that we didn't talk about in this conversation. And I'll start with New Gems Justin, then we'll go with Chris, and then we'll end with MoonDaddy. Justin, you mind? There you go.
All right. My final thoughts or my final words are we need to change something in the thoughts in BSC and Binance. It is normal at the current point that the people are thinking, okay, BAC is a fast grow smart chain for projects for 3 days, 4 days, or for scammer, or for bot attacker, or I don't know. And in my opinion, this space, the GG space and all around it needs to be safer and more transparent. And that is what we will achieve and at what we will fight to achieve.
I like it. I like it. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining the conversation, and appreciate you explaining your role in MoonWalkers and all the other projects. And definitely look forward to learning more in the future and possibly bringing you guys back on. Chris, you want to go ahead and give your final thoughts or anything that you wanted to add that you didn't talk about?
Yeah, my final thought is we are just at the beginning of a journey, and there's a long way to go. Anyone who wants to join the adventure is more than welcome, and at least just come and have a look. We are not, let's say, pushing people to buy or whatever. Just look at what we're doing.
Okay, I love it, man. Love it. MoonDaddy.
Yeah, I'll echo the same sentiments as my family. We're a family. We become very close. We spend more time with each other than we do probably with our spouses or girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever you want to call it, right? I just can't say enough about this team, right? I would just advise people to look at people's actions as opposed to their words. We're extremely transparent. We're here for the long haul. And it's a great time to be currently as an investor to accumulate. This is how you generate wealth. You accumulate when the pricing in the market is down, not when it's a bull run or bull cycle.
Right, not when it's all over the news.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough. You put a couple hundred, it's not financial advice, but I was in a financial sector for about 10 years. So I know a little bit about it, right? You really need to accumulate now, and look at our actions. When you're looking at our projects, we don't beg, for investors. We're not pressed to have 10,000 holders, but we do want to attract people that are like mind and people that want to change their lives and other people's lives, all on the same page and like a hive mind type of community. That's what we want to really cultivate and create, and we will. And another thing, Brother Rice, I want to send you tokens. I want you to see the growth of the token, right? Just by simply passively holding the token. And you're just a cool ass guy. We've connected personally. We've had really good conversations. And I do want to talk to you about non-crypto things. I'm really interested in what you're interested in. I have the similar interests. So maybe I can interview you one day and we can discuss.
Oh, definitely, Dan. I'd love to come on your channel. And like I said, I definitely want to get you on for highlighting your channel. I've got an idea too that I'll talk with you about after we're done.
And I can talk about, we're working on another project. We're very busy, right? But it's for a future Hall of Famer, a guy that I can give some hints. I played football with him in college. People can kind of do a little research, but we're going to launch a project for him. And he may come on as an ambassador. So,
is it going to be a token project or NFT related?
It'll be both. It'll be both.
Okay, cool.
And Christopher has the ability to create any contract, from an NFT contract to a staking contracts to swaps, everything, right? Anything you can imagine, Christopher comes up with it. I'm putting a little pressure on him, but yeah, exciting times, exciting things coming, and we're just methodical. We just will continue to develop and build for the bull run and bull cycle, and that's who we're trying to attract. That's who we want.
I love it. And so, I mean, one thing I'll add before we wrap up is, I'll add on to the best time to make investments is when the price is down. You always want to buy the lowest you could possibly buy. You want to buy low and sell high if you're going to sell. That's the concept. So now I have personally, not only myself, seen a few other individuals that have made $250 investments in projects. Not a lot of money. Some people can, not everybody's in a position to afford that, but those that can, that are willing to lose that $250, I've seen that turn within a year when the markets start to flip around into over $10,000. And so if you do the right research, and if you do that, let's say 5 times, or just break it down to $1,000, do it 4 times, and 2 of those projects, 3 of the projects don't take off. 1 of them does. If you've made a $10,000 off a $1,000 investment, that's a 10x, and that's a lot more than most people see in investments. So just make sure you're doing your own research, because you can do things that can change your life, that can not only change your life, but build enough wealth where you can have that be generational, which is even more powerful. So,
and Chris, you gave me another idea. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to change lives, and we want people to tell the narrative, and we continue to do it, right? We're not here to, it's another caveat with our tokens. We make sure that our team and our close KOLs, we hold at least 20%, right, to secure the floor. If you look at the MoonWalker token, it's still over 100K, well over 100K, and it's almost 7 months old. Most tokens, I've invested in tokens in the last 6 days that are dead. They died.
right.
They're gone. The evidence is there, right?
Yeah.
In regards to an investment, we're corporate guys. We're not, and no offense to young guys, we have young guys that we have to have because they know the current market, as opposed to Christopher and I. We're thinking, not Wolf of Wall Street days, but a little after that, right? We need fresh blood, and we have it, and we recruit it. We have 3 guys that are geniuses, and they're under 21 on our team. So that's kind of how we operate. We're very innovative, and we're here for the long haul.
Cool. Love it,
And
man.
And we hold the floor. We have 20% of the supplies of our tokens. We won't, if worst case scenario came, we would just hold that 20% and allow our holders to sell. If we had to shut a token down, which we never would do, because we have the resources. You have to have the resources when you start tokens. You can't have a token and say, yeah, we're here for the long haul, but you have nothing to back it financially. So.
I wish everybody else knew that. That'd be great.
I wish they did too. I just lost on a token last night. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? You have no marketing dollars for the rainy days or for when a whale exits your token? And they were like, yeah, we don't have any resources. It's not a business. You're not running a business. You're running a quick pump and dump token. Just tell people that. It's a pump and dump.
And that's why I see a lot of these projects falling by the wayside finally, and kind of thinning the herd per se. And I think that would be one of the best things that we can have for the space. So again, man, I appreciate all 3 of you guys' time. I appreciate your transparency and explaining the projects to me. And I definitely look forward to hearing more in the future and possibly bringing you guys back on. If you could bear with me, I'm just going to do the wrap up and stop recording. So we will have links down below in the video description for everything we talked about on today's show. So be sure to check it out. And as always, make sure you're doing your own research. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you subscribe to the MoonWalkers Token YouTube channel, as well as RC's YouTube channel. And since I just got introduced to it, I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. It's Crypto RC. And you said it's Crypto RC 95. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah. There was an imposter that had Crypto RC, but I have my sign.
I see it now. Yeah. Now it all makes sense.
It makes a little sense, right? This is where I record my
all you talked about in Austin was MoonWalkers, so I had no clue about your actual other YouTube channel. So yeah, we're gonna have to highlight the channel. All right. So again, I will leave you with this, ladies and gentlemen. As always, be blessed, be the change, practice change, and I'll see you on the next show.